Well, hello. How are you? Mm, you're looking good.
Louis beans.
Let's just go over a little bit of the calorie in, calorie out stuff. Even though I get stuck on the calorie in, calorie out stuff, there's a lot of stuff you have to understand uh, to really get what I'm saying. You know,
It tastes so
it
good.
can be misconstrued what I'm actually saying about calorie in, calorie out. I'm not saying calorie in, calorie out doesn't matter. You know, and a lot of the stuff I'm talking about in the previous video has to do with long term, not short term, okay, but long term stress. You have to realize that building muscle, losing fat, these things are goals. These are basically journeys. These aren't things you necessarily achieve. And in the sense that you like you may win a contest. Well, in that case, you win a contest, you have always won that contest. You can never lose that contest. Maybe you can lose the next one, but that one contest you won, you have a trophy, right? You'll always have that trophy, or you make however much money, right? You have that money. Obviously, you can spend that money, you can lose it, but what I'm saying is, whenever you lose weight, of course, you can hit a goal weight, right? But you can easily lose that. You have to continually work at dieting. You have to continually work at building muscle. This is not something that you can just achieve. You can't just achieve it. You can't win it. You can't, possess it in the same way that you can, other things, other items. I mean, I have some coffee here. I can hold it. I can touch it. This is my coffee, right? Uh, you can't do that with diet. It's not that sort of a thing, and you have to realize that over time, and that's really where I'm coming from, is the over the time argument. My argument is never or never was that you should never do very low calorie diets. My argument never has been that you should
Eat it in small bits.
never push the limit. My argument isn't that you require lower calories to lose fat. And lower calories is, of course, the term lower than what your body needs to maintain itself. That in and of itself is an entire concept that you have to understand the role of hormones to even get that point. When I was talking about how I actually was eating more food, I upped my carbs. Therefore, just by doing that and keeping everything else in the diet the same, I was therefore eating more calories. However, I lost fat faster than the previous few weeks. Okay, by eating more calories. Now, it's not that the solution to losing weight is eating more calories. The reason, which maybe I didn't explain this, I don't remember if I did or not, but the reason is, one, is psychological. It's stress. It's long periods of time on a very low calorie diet, very low carb diet for long periods of time. I'm talking long periods, over 4, 5, 6 months is what I'm talking. I'm not talking short term. I'm not talking never take a fast. These are things I've never said. I've never said don't lower your calories to 1,000 calories a day and do it for a couple weeks or a couple months. I'm talking over time. And by adding more calories in, my body was able to recover, which meant it was able to burn more calories overall. So therefore, what I could take in was higher because what I was burning was higher. And that's the concept of calorie in, calorie out that is missed, a lot of times. It's completely and utterly just missed. It's not explained properly. And then you get people who just say, reduce your calories, reduce your calories, reduce your calories, reduce your calories, reduce your calories. And at a consistent rate, if you consistently lower calories over a period of time and allow your metabolism to slow down, you're basically overstressing your body and you're not going to recover, meaning you will require less calories than you did the previous week and the previous week and the previous week. And you will get down to a point where your metabolism is so slow, okay, that eating any sort of a normal style meal will automatically start to add fat because your body is pumped, primed, and ready to store fat at any extra calories. And it makes sure that almost any extra calories you get, it makes sure that a very small amount of calories will indeed be too much. Okay. We know this from the studies on The Biggest Loser. We know this from the studies on people who lose massive amounts of weight in a very short period of time. Then we measure their how they utilize calories, and they often will require less per day versus someone else at their average size. So just think about that. I mean, imagine somebody requiring 1,000 calories a day less to maintain the same weight as someone who never dieted. So think of someone who made it down to a healthy weight. They finally got down to their healthy weight. By cutting calories from, say they were at 3,500, they had to cut down to 2,500, they had to cut down to say they get all the way down to 1,200 calories a day. And now, because their metabolism is so slow, they have to keep eating 1,200 calories a day to maintain that weight. While someone else can eat 2,200 calories a day to maintain the same exact weight. Now, does the metabolism recover over time? I believe most studies say that it does, but it's at a pretty slow rate from what I can see. I'd have to look, I've read the studies before, but you can go read them. You can go read about the starvation experiments. You can go read about the experiments with The Biggest Loser contestants and things like that. That's really my point. I don't want to get into the fucking thing about calorie in, calorie out, because I will, like I said last time, I'll go on for hours and hours and hours. And I just want to clarify, some points. This is about long term. I'm not talking short term. I'm sure you can find a study. I was looking before. I've seen a study that showed no muscle loss from males on a 1,000 calorie diet for, I believe it was 4 months. Yeah, I don't doubt that they didn't lose muscle in 4 months, especially if they were beginners, or if they were intermediate or even advanced. As long as they hadn't been dieting for a year before that. That's my point. That's always been my point. That was my point about the calorie in, calorie out. And that not the short term, not when you start. Don't use anything I said, if you're overweight and say, hey, this guy said I should up my calories. I've never dieted before. Let me up my calories and I'll lose weight. That's just fucking stupid. And I never fucking said that,
A female vagina.
I just want to make sure I'm clear with what I'm saying here.
Borax.
Because the calorie in, calorie out stuff can get twisted very, very easily. And people use it for their own, shit. The calorie in, calorie out only people.
Humbug. Eat it.
The scrotum.
They'll pick apart certain parts and say, oh, so you're saying energy balance doesn't matter? Didn't fucking say that, motherfucker. If you listen to everything I fucking said, you will see that everything I said is 100% logical and correct. And I believe I can find sources for everything. I'd have to look, but it's based on scientific knowledge. It's not just, your body feels this way. You know what I mean? It's not that.
No surplus of soft fat.
So anyway, I'm for the calorie in, calorie out, I'm mainly talking about long term. Long term, if you continually diet long term without any periods at all of taking a break, of letting your metabolism recover, of gaining muscle, yes, you will lose muscle. You're on a diet for a very long term, very low calorie diet. You continually step down and step down and step down and step down your calories while you step up and step up and step up your output. You actually hurt yourself in the end. Again, look at someone who has the body that you want. How much working out do you think they're doing? If you're working out, and again, this all has to do with context, but if you're overworking, like if you look at some anorexics who will work out, you think I work out a lot. Look at a fucking anorexic. An anorexic can work out 3, 4, 5 hours a day, 7 days a week. All right. Do they look amazing? They have low calories. Do they look so amazing and strong?
How do you choose a date?
No. Look at some female, not model, but a fitness model, right? Even though she's probably on steroids of some kind. Look at her physique. Look at how much she eats. Look how she diets. Look how she works out. Probably 45 minutes, hour and a half a day. Probably eats a good amount of calories, especially if she's on gear, which she probably is. Which you all need to realize that if someone's in a fitness magazine, they are on gear.
Borax.
It's almost more accurate to say that and then say, well, the person who's not on gear is the exception.
Borax.
Instead of saying, well, some people are on gear. Like I said, it's more accurate to say everyone in the fitness industry is on gear, At least the ones making a lot of money. And, there are, of course, people who are not, but the majority are. And, you should realize that as consumers of supplements, of products, you buy magazines, you follow diets, you buy diet plans, you should realize that that person, whose body you're trying to get, you can't have that. You will never achieve that, ever, without gear. It just won't happen. The body doesn't work that way. Look at natural bodybuilders. Natural bodybuilders, they kind of know how to do bodybuilding. They have coaches just like the pros do. And look at them. Look at their size. Look at their conditioning. It's nowhere near. Even an actor in Hollywood or some rappers, some rappers are more built than natural bodybuilders.
By alien forces.
Now, is it because these rappers are just genetically superior, or is it because they're on gear? You got to realize how far steroids have permeated society. You have to fucking realize how far these drugs have permeated into society to where people just expect a certain look and never even realize how it was achieved and how it was accomplished. But that's a completely different argument. I don't want to make this video super fucking long today. The calorie in, calorie out thing, I think that explains it. I'm talking long term. Like I said, you can find a study where, males trained at 1,000 calories a day for something like 16 weeks. And supposedly they didn't lose any muscle, supposedly, for 4 months at 1,000 calories a day. They lost no muscle. Again, I'm not saying that's not possible. I'm not saying you should never go very, very, very low calorie to get where you need. It's about context. And that was the point I was trying to get across in that video, is everything's about context. If you have been, like I said, if it's long-term, if you've been dieting the same way and continually lowering calories for over 6 months, okay, now you have stressed your body to a point where, in my opinion, you would be better off. You would be better off backing off a little tiny bit on your workout and actually upping your calories to let yourself recover. And you might actually find out that by building some muscle, you actually end up burning more calories. By eating more calories, you end up burning more calories. Okay. Now, this is not carte blanche for a beginner to say, well, I want to lose weight, so let me up my calories. That's fucking stupid. This is not an idea for somebody who's 400 pounds to say, oh, well, calorie in, calorie out doesn't matter. Let me stuff my face with Doritos and just wonder why I don't lose weight. That's not what I'm fucking saying. It's about context. It's about long-term stress and its effect on testosterone. And again, another thing I'll mention that maybe it wasn't clear. When I mentioned how your testosterone can lower over time, because of stress of a diet, right? I'm not saying that if you have low testosterone, you can't lose weight. I mean, females lose weight, right? Women lose weight. They don't have that much testosterone. And even if you hurt your testosterone through dieting, it doesn't mean you can't lose weight, okay? You have to understand how all of this shit is connected, and that more testosterone, oftentimes, I'm just going to say always, leads to better weight loss, fat loss, especially around the midsection in males, especially. It also helps support muscle, overall energy, and your overall attitude, the way you can attack the weights. That this all goes into play to how well you can work out, how much muscle you can gain, your stamina, all kinds of things. And of course, it comes around to fat loss. Again, you can think of the guy who's sitting on the couch, or not sitting on the couch. You can think of the guy who's working out on a certain diet and he's a bit over, or let's just say 1,000 calories over his maintenance. Make the motherfucker 1,000 calories over his maintenance. Fine. Now he's gaining fat. He may be gaining some muscle for sure, but he's also gaining fat. Now you inject that guy with testosterone 1 to 2 times a week, depending on how much you want to give him. I guarantee you, the same diet, the same workout with the addition of only testosterone will completely change how those calories are used. And that's the fucking point I'm making about calorie in and calorie out. That encapsulates the whole fucking thing. If you don't understand that, then you're simply being disingenuous. You are simply being disingenuous. And you're probably stupid.
Into the vagina.
Not you, ma'am. Hello. Looking good over there, ladies.
Lusts, their evil bodies turn the strongest man into jelly.
You know, that's the point I'm making. You know, that guy on the test with at the same calorie level that was making making him fat at a without the testosterone. Now all of a sudden he's getting ripped. He's losing fat. You know, he's looking much better overall, more energy overall. And the only thing that changed was the hormone. Okay, so that sort of encapsulates everything. I'm going to move on from that. I think I've explained it. Yes, calories do matter. Yes, energy balance is a real thing. However, you have to understand that your energy balance affects how you burn the energy. And it's more than just an energy balance. You have to understand how hormones affect your energy and how much energy you need, how much energy you can utilize, and how much energy the body will release, and how it will release it. What energy will it go for? Will it pull from fat, or will it slow down your metabolism? Will it pull from muscle? You have to understand the role of hormones in all of this. Okay. And again, I'm not saying in every case you have to raise your calories to lose weight. I'm just saying long-term stress, try raising your calories and do a little bit less. I mean, a very little bit. Up your intensity, but do it in a different way. You know, like I like to do high reps a lot. Okay. But you can burn out like that very easily. So I'll lower the reps and I'll up the weight. Okay. And that's a way. And also you can lower the rest periods. You know, like I talked about the 3-7 system, which is a great system. That's a way to get a lot of work in a shorter amount of time, but you're still getting a good amount of stress. It's just a different way to tax the body. And sometimes you can recover better that way. You know, there's going to come a time, like, you know, I'm still eating higher carbs. Again, I'm still low carb, under 100 grams of carbs a day. There's going to come a time though, which probably in a week, where I will have to remove those carbs, and where I will have to go back down to a very low calorie diet, where I will probably start putting fasting days in again, where I will probably utilize intermittent fasting, if not the fasting days. You know, there comes a time for all of these methods. And the only thing I'm really saying is don't get caught in one method. Don't get caught in the continually lowering your calories, because I got to tell you, man, that is a road to nowhere. The always lower calorie crowd, that's the answer for goddamn everything. You're going to fucking get yourself into a hole. So now you have no energy, now you have no muscle, and now you're not eating anything. So as soon as you start eating, guess what you're going to gain? You're going to gain all fat. Because your body is pumped and primed and ready to store fat. And there's no muscle on your body. I mean, obviously there's some, but you know what I mean? There's not a lot of muscle on your body that needs a bunch of calories. So it's just going to store them as fat. You know, you've already damaged your metabolism. Sure, it will recover after a while. Sometimes it can be up to a year or two. You know, but I got to get off the calorie. I think I've made my point on that. Okay. Okay, so anyway, the next thing I wanted to sort of clear up.
One never knows when the homosexual is about.
You know, I talked about, if you think about the fact that somebody who's trying to lose weight is more than likely eating less than somebody who is maintaining, you know, the point I'm making there is, you know, some people may hear that and be like, well, duh, they're losing weight, so why wouldn't they eat less, you fucking dumb fuck?
It's all very simple.
That's not the point. The point is, if you consider somebody who has been overweight for a long period of time, and they start cutting their weight, okay, say they're eating 3,500 calories a day for a very long period of time, right? They cut down to 2,500. They start losing weight. They start a workout program that is exactly the same as somebody who is already fit. So somebody who is already fit already is on a workout program. All right, they're consuming 2,500 calories a day, and they are maintaining their weight, maybe slightly growing, but not adding fat. They're maintaining, you know, they're adding a little muscle here and there, whatever. 2,500 calories a day. So this person here, person A, the fatty, okay, they're still 100 pounds heavier than this other motherfucker who's at a healthy, fit weight. However, their calorie levels are exactly the same. That's the point I'm making. And eventually, person A, Mr. Fatty, is going to reach a point where he is going to have to lower his calories to continue to lose fat. Okay, there's going to come a point where you have to do that. Without anabolics anyway.
Borax.
So now let's say this guy goes down to 2,000 calories a day, doing the same workout as this guy who's fit, but now he's eating 500 calories less, and he has to lose more weight, to lose more fat. Then pretty soon he's down to 1,500 calories a day. Same workout, still say 50 pounds heavier than the other person.
Humbug!
That's the point I'm making, is that a lot of times in society, it's more of a societal thing, really. More of a these, I guess it's a calorie in, calorie out argument. A lot of people don't realize that if you take somebody who has been dieting long term or for a long time, they're actually usually eating less than you suspect. Now, people do over or underestimate their calories a lot. I believe I saw one study that said most people underestimate their calories by about 50%, and they overestimate their working out by about 50%. So that's, of course, an issue. I'm not saying it's not an issue, but you see,
the scrotum contains the testicles.
The whole point, it's the whole concept is, if you realize that you as a dieter, if you're trying to lose weight, to shred up, to cut up, okay, and you're not on anabolics, all of this goes out the window, as soon as that needle goes in your fucking, your arm, your ass, wherever you want to put it. All of this is out the window, okay? Because calorie in, calorie out, that's all that matters.
Borax.
Oh, wait, you got steroids? Okay. all of a sudden the game done changed, my brother. Okay, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, what I'm saying is, you as a dieter and the people around you may not realize that they are eating significantly more calories than you are, right? You may go on, if you ever go on message boards and you just look at what people write, you'll see somebody saying, help, I'm at a certain calorie level, been dieting for however long. And the responses they get is, lower your calories, lower your calories, lower your calories. And again, while of course that would work to lose weight, you keep cutting in an energy balance. That's one way to continue to lose weight for sure. I would prefer that you do that sparingly, meaning that of course you cut your energy balance, but instead of letting it get to a point that's so low, how about you, if you can, sort of restore your body's ability to build muscle and to consume more. You want your body to use more fuel, so you don't have to cut the calories so low. Do you think somebody who is fit, they get down to a fit level, do you want to sit there eating 1,200 calories a day for the rest of your life to maintain? No, nobody wants to do that. Of course, the metabolism, comes back some, and you can slowly start eating more, right? But I'm just saying, you have to realize that these people who always preach calorie in, calorie out, and I know I'm going to get off this. I'm going to get off the subject. I swear I am. Who always preach calorie in, calorie out, they fail to realize that at a certain point, if you're eating 1,500 calories a day and you're not losing weight because you have been dieting for so long, you're person A here, and then person B out there, they're out there saying, oh, just cut your calories. Well, how many calories are you at? You're at 2,500 maintaining at a healthy weight. So you're not experiencing the damage that you've done to your body over years, or at least several months, over 6, 7, 8, 9 months, with no rest. You can of course do things like intermittent fasting, but you're not going, even if you do it constantly for a long time, you're still eating every day. It's not the same thing, and it's not the amount of stress as actually going full days without eating. It's just not the same thing. Same thing for working out too hard for too long. I obviously like to work out a lot. I mean, obviously, because I say it a lot.
Labia or lips.
I do. I like working out. I like lifting the weights. It's just what I like. So, but I can get to a point where it's too much for my body to recover from. Okay. Now there are times when I'm going to push through that, and I'm going to push through that, and I'm going to not just overreach, but I'm going to overtrain for a reason.
A well-developed body.
But it's the context that you have to understand. And if you push it too far, and you keep doing more and you keep doing more, yes, you will lose weight. Yes, some will be fat, but it will also be muscle and strength and your fucking sanity and maybe your life, perhaps. You overstress your body to the point, a certain point, and this is completely real. You can have a heart murmur, heart palpitations, and you can die.
That's something to look forward
Anorexics
to.
die all the time from eating too little, stress, and working out too much. stress. Stress is a real thing. Recovery is a real thing. And I think I've made my point on this. I think I've talked way enough about the calorie in, calorie out stuff. What are we at, about 27 minutes or so here? Yeah. I've talked enough about the calorie in, calorie out stuff. I think I made my point. Anyway, I just find it very interesting to think that somebody who is much heavier could actually be eating much lower in calories than somebody who is much lighter and not on a diet. You know, it's very interesting whenever you consider, you consider the studies on people who have always been a sort of a thin, on the thinner side of weight. You know, their whole lives always been on the thinner side. You look at their calories, they don't count a goddamn thing. These are not constant dieters. And then you look at the people who are constantly dieting, and people who are constantly dieting are always fatter. Now, this could be, correlation or whatever, because somebody who's overweight is obviously more likely to diet, right?
You see, Ralph was a homosexual.
So you have to consider that. But it's also very interesting if you look at the metabolism of somebody who constantly diets versus somebody who is just been thin, or at least, sort of thin, average, whatever, their whole life. And never really on a diet. Maybe they gain 5-10 pounds or something. Or maybe at one point they gain 20 pounds and then they go on a diet for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, and they lose it all. I'm talking about people who are always dieting, and you look at the damage that they do to their metabolism over time, and you just look at how much they can eat, what the overall calories they can eat versus somebody who doesn't count, somebody who's naturally thin. I mean, you can take people, let's just use Arnold for as an example. It's hot in here again because I have the air conditioner off because I don't like the background noise. Use Arnold Schwarzenegger for an example. A lot of guys trained with Arnold. A lot of guys, okay? They took the steroids Arnold took.
Borax.
They trained just like Arnold. I'm sure they probably tried to copy his diet.
Yes, that's what a boy likes.
Not a goddamn one of them looked like Arnold. Not a goddamn one of them looked like him. They didn't fucking win Mr. Olympia. How many times? 7, 8? Something like that? They didn't fucking win Mr. Olympia. But the calorie in, calorie out crowd, and God damn it, I gotta get off this shit. But according to the energy balance crowd, everything's about energy balance, right? Everything's about energy because everyone's exactly the same. There's no individuality. Everything comes down to calories, man. Some guys would get leaner than others. Some guys wouldn't. Arnold would gain a certain amount of muscle. Other guys wouldn't. Some guys would gain more strength. Some guys wouldn't. But nobody was fucking. I don't mean nobody was fucking Arnold. I'm sure. I mean, not guys. I mean, not I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't even alive.
Their lusts, their evil bodies turn the strongest man into jelly.
And the entrance to the vagina.
Yes, that's what a boy likes.
Anyway,
Eat it in small bits.
And the scrotum.
the point is, you consider that there are people out there who can do the same exact thing as you, and they will fail. And there are people who can do the same exact thing as me, and they will fail. And maybe some will exceed more than me. I know some things that work for me.
Vagina.
I know sometimes I have to overtrain. Sometimes I have to severely undereat in order to lose fat. Okay. That's probably damage from a life. I was born fat. Okay. I was born a fat kid. I was born fat. Okay.
No surplus of soft fat.
I was, I've gone over this shit forever, you're born fat. And a very interesting thing actually is the amount of fat cells you have as a child and how that influences adulthood obesity. That's actually a really interesting thing that not many people are studying into. And actually the time that you're born, whether you're early, late, or whenever you're supposed to be born, whatever, that actually can influence the amount of fat cells you have. It's actually pretty interesting, but nobody gives a shit about that. And we've gone on 30 minutes. I got to wrap this up. Anyway, the amount of fat cells you have it's a very interesting thing. But the point is, what I have to do, if I'm born fat and then I had to diet down, when I was a teenager or even before being a teenager, like 11, 12 years old, I sort of started to diet, right? Sort of got into the anorexic part of it, which wasn't great. Okay. It worked. Again, calorie in, calorie out. It's real. It's real, but you look like fucking shit. I'll attest to it. I'll attest to it. I used to eat nothing at all. I used to fucking go to a point when I was 13 or 14 years old. I wouldn't fucking eat for days. And if I did, it would just be like an orange. All right. I know what that's like. Everything I'm telling you, I've fucking done it. I'm not like these motherfuckers who have been thin their whole life, you know, trying to tell you how to get thin. It's easy for somebody who's already thin to get thin because you're thin. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's easy to be what you are because that's what you are.
He may appear normal.
Okay? And listen, man, you can look at almost every professional bodybuilder. I don't know of one, not one who has ever been fat in their entire life. Especially, and this is the most important part, they were never fat kids, right? They were never a fat kid. They were never a large child. They weren't born fat. They didn't get fat in middle school, high school, any shit like that. They were always very, very lean. That's how you see most professional bodybuilders. And you got to understand that's to their advantage. Okay. That is to their advantage.
Borax.
Even with steroids. Okay.
Borax.
Prepare for the worst.
If you're naturally larger, your body is different and you have to train it differently. Okay. I mean, I looked, I think we looked in the last video about, some people, you do concurrent training, you do cardio after you lift weights and it can lower your strength. That's what the conclusion of the study is. However, some people have body types that need that much goddamn stress every fucking day in order to lose weight. And it doesn't affect their strength. Sometimes it does. But again, it's about context. It's about what you want to do at the time. If all you're worried about is lifting more, then of course you're probably not going to do a lot of cardio because you don't care about that shit. I mean, you want to keep your heart pumping well. You want to to be active and to be functional. And cardio definitely helps with that,
Into the vagina.
Full of all the nerve.
You do some of those, what are they called? Under the fence push-ups that they do. Do those in front of your ladies, fellas. Just do some of those, where you fucking go down. She'll be like, "Oh my God."
The penis.
And then you say, "It ain't for you, bitch. It's for your best friend. She's hotter."
Full of all the nerve.
Don't ever say that.
Yes, that's what a boy likes.
But anyway, man, everything I fucking tell you motherfuckers is shit I've fucking done. It's not theory with me. I mean, it is theory. I look at the fucking studies, but I've done it, man. I've fucking done it. I'm not sitting around there with a fucking, needle sticking out of my fucking arm telling you, here's what I do and it'll work for you. No, because it fucking wouldn't. If I had needles sticking out of my arm, it wouldn't fucking work for you. And most of the motherfuckers on here, they have needles sticking out of their fucking arms and out of their fucking ass. And it's not gonna fucking work for you, bro. It ain't.
Borax.
Anyway, I really have to get off the calorie in, calorie out bullshit.
The penis.
There's absolutely a time for very low calories, and there's absolutely a time where you need to back off, eat more, and guess what? You might actually end up losing weight. For like about a month ago or so, like when I told you, like I switched over to doing a little more carbs, about 40 carbs after working out. So overall more calories. So overall more calories, more carbs. Every single day, my waist would be slightly smaller. I mean, I would feel it when I put on my pants every day. I would feel it. I'd be like, wow, this is actually getting looser. Every single day of eating more calories from the month before. Every single day.
Into the vagina.
Okay, but you have to understand, I've been doing this long term. Okay. Don't, again, I'll repeat it one more time. Don't think you're a rank beginner. You're 700 pounds overweight. Don't think the way for you to lose weight is to add another pizza to your diet. That's not what I'm fucking saying. And anybody who thinks that is a disingenuous asshole and a real bad person and probably a silly goose. All right. Anyway, God damn it. Yeah, we need to wrap it up. But anyway, the last thing I'll talk about, since we've covered that, is the phenomena of soft fat. If you have any significant amount of weight to lose, you are very likely to suffer from this phenomena of soft fat, which is, it's not fun. Okay. But what it is, say you start dieting, you're 50, 60, 70, 100 pounds, whatever, up and up, overweight. If you're 10 pounds overweight, 20 pounds, it's not going to be that big of a fucking deal, simply because you don't have that large of fat stores. Your fat cells aren't chocked full of fat. So it's not going to be nearly as, the scale won't be nearly as much. But if you have a significant amount of weight to lose and you start to lose that weight, you may notice that your previously harder physique, even though it may have been larger, your previously harder physique may start to sort of soften up. And the weird thing is you can actually look worse while losing weight. There is a point in losing weight. You start to look, but you're probably going to start to look better as you go. Okay. But there will be a point where you're like, now I'm starting to look worse, and you're going to start looking worse and worse and worse. And this may go on for a month or 2 months or 5 months or 6 months. It really just depends, where you actually start to look worse, or at least you're going to feel worse, but you can actually look worse. You can have a smaller waist, but your waist might actually look larger as you you lose the visceral fat, which is the hard fat that's not right under the skin. It's more around the organs, the subcutaneous fat, that's what really starts to get soft. If you consider all your fat cells just ballooned up, and then put a sheet over them or something, right? Fill them all up and then start popping those fat cells, those balloons, and then watch how that sheet just sort of, it just fucking hangs down, right? That's just like your skin, if you think of your fat cells as water balloons that just fill up and then deflate, they never go away. They just fill up and deflate. You can add more, but you can't get rid of them without a surgery, of course, to actually just remove it, cut the skin off. But that's often, that can happen. I don't want to say it often happens. It really depends on
By alien forces.
How fast you lose weight. It depends on how long you've been overweight. It depends on a lot of things, but if you have a significant amount of weight to lose and it's, you've been overweight for a while, even if you're gaining muscle, man, which you should do, because you want to make sure there's enough stuff around, okay? Because you don't want saggy skin, you don't want baggy skin, and that's why I've said in previous videos that you don't want, when somebody says they want to lose weight, nobody fucking means they want to lose muscle, because then you just look silly. You just end up looking silly if you lose all your fucking muscle and then you just have a bunch of baggy ass fucking skin. You know what I mean? You don't want that. Nobody fucking wants that. So you want to gain muscle. You want to work out. You want to use weights. Everybody should be lifting weights. Pretty much. At least, it doesn't have to be to a crazy ass degree, but a couple times a week, that ain't much to ask. You don't fucking have times for 2 30-minute sessions a week, then you're doing too damn much. And my suspicion would be, if you say, well, I'm just doing too damn much, then my suspicion is you're a fucking liar. That would be my suspicion. You're sitting, I would almost guarantee you're sitting around at night on a fucking couch somewhere. You have plenty of time to watch 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 shows at night, but you don't have time for half an hour to fucking lift some goddamn weights. Fuck you. You're fucking lying. I guarantee you're fucking lying. Goddamn-tee it. If you're not lying, wake up half an hour earlier and get it the fuck in. All right, man. But, back to soft fat, what happens is, your fat is hard there for a while because it's not really being utilized by the body. It's just secreting inflammatory substances, which is why having a lot of fat is bad, of course. And that's why having a lot of fat can actually lower your testosterone, and losing fat can help to raise that up to normal. Of course, as we already discussed with the calorie in, calorie out, you take your calories too low for too long and you overstress your body, you can actually end up turning your testosterone lower than when you were fatter. It's, like I said, it's all about context and where you are at the time. But as far as soft fat goes, fat can be hard for a while. You start losing it, it starts to soften up because, you're having new blood vessels come in there to actually utilize that fat. Everything is sort of being accessed now. So, the whole point I wanted to make, and we're going to wrap this shit up, is, if you're losing a lot of weight, if you have lost a lot of weight, and you get to the point where you feel like you're looking worse, you want to keep going. Okay. You want to keep going because that's actually, I don't want to say that's where you want to be. Obviously nobody wants to be there, but that's just what happens. Okay. That's what happens whenever your body starts to access those fat stores. It's starting to pull fat out of those cells. Okay. New fucking blood vessels are going through there to get at that fat. Get at that fat, bitch. God damn, smack that ass. Woo! Everybody likes fat ass, right? I guess unless it's on a dude, right? You never see a dude with a big fat ass. I've never seen a chick be like, God damn, look at his fat ass. I'm going to spread that open and split him like a coconut. Oh, God damn it.
Yes, that's what a boy likes.
But that's where you want to be, man. You know, you lose. Yeah, that's how you lose weight. That's how you start losing that fat. You know, it starts getting soft. Basically just means, just think of it that it means it's being accessed. Okay. Now, of course, there comes to a point where you could stretch your skin beyond repair. And at that point, yeah, plastic surgery really is your only option. Okay. There's a theory out there that loose skin doesn't exist. That it's always just subcutaneous fat cells, which is fat cells right on the outer lining there of the skin, right underneath. That theory, it's good on one level in that it can keep you from making excuses to say, well, it's just skin, so I'm not going to work out. Well, the reality is there is probably fat lining, sagging skin, right? But that fat is very hard to access, and even if you completely access it and use it, it doesn't mean the skin's going to grow back. I mean, what's the dude's name here on YouTube who was a really, really fat dude? It lost a shitload of weight, and then he like took his shirt off on YouTube to show his loose skin that he still had. It was like paper thin. I mean, that's loose skin, dude. That's not gonna it's not gonna tighten up. It is real. Okay. But I mean, the argument that it isn't real, it's sort of silly, but at the same time, it's one of those things that gets used a lot. An excuse, a lot of times you get it from women like, oh, well, I was pregnant and, this is just skin. So I'm just going to eat 17 pizzas a day and there's nothing I can do about it. That's just not true. Not true.
Carol, you fucking whore.
And that's why I kind of like that argument. However, I don't believe it's accurate. I mean, I know it's not accurate. There is loose skin. Skin absolutely does stretch, and there is a point if you stretch it too far for too long, then it will not go back. It's just not. Okay. So, but the point of soft fat, you see yourself, you can have everything to sort of start to slide downward where it may feel like everything's just sliding downward, right?
Into the vagina.
And you may feel like I said, your waist may feel larger because at least in males, what often happens in males, your fat will pool, I'm going to say, around your lower stomach area. Okay. And that's just because you're losing fat everywhere and gravity pulls it down. Not necessarily pulls the cells down. I'm just saying it pulls your skin down. So that's where everything sort of just hangs. Just like, your balls start hanging low after a while, Hey, swing low, sweet balls of
the scrotum.
Whatever. God. But, and it can seem like your waist is larger, but the actuality is it's getting smaller. And, the fat is softening up because your body is accessing it. Okay. That's pretty much all that is. So if, you start having soft fat because you're going on a diet and maybe you've gained a lot of mass, you were on a giant bulk and you gained a shitload of fat and now your fat is softening up. That's why, because your body is actually starting to use it. At least that's most cases. Again, like I said, sometimes surgery is your only option. Sometimes surgery isn't a bad option. It's a great option because it's a lot fucking faster. You just fucking go on there, snip, cut the shit off. You're fucking done. Just fucking done. I'm all for shortcuts. I'm just all for people being honest about them. I don't give a shit what you're on.
Borax.
And I don't think you owe it to people to tell them necessarily. But whenever you present yourself as not
Borax.
you know, if you present yourself as something that you're not, that's what I start having a bit of a problem. Now, I do think society should be smarter overall about the whole fitness industry. I really do. But at the same time, you're kind of an asshole. You're kind of just a really shitty fucking person. You know, a bunch of fucking liars, man. But then again, at the same time, you know, I've made this argument before, man. Like, we create these people, man. We create the liars that we see. We create the fucking steroided out motherfucker, which again, I don't have a problem with. If I fucking lived in Mexico or fucking Europe or anywhere else, I'd be fucking steroided out too. I'll tell you that right fucking now. Okay. That's not a fucking issue. Absolutely. They go down to Mexico for about 6 months and just spend some time down there, you know, where people aren't fucking retarded about what you want to do to yourself, you know, like here where we want to control what everybody does and what everybody puts in their bodies.
The scrotum.
You know? Anyway, it's just stupid. But anyway, like I said, man, we create these people. We create people like The Rock who have to gain so much muscle, you know, for the roles he wants to play, because that's what you want to see when you go to the motherfucking movies. That's what you want to see, right? But then your son sees The Rock, right? Your son sees The Rock and he starts doing research on the internet. And he goes, oh, The Rock did steroids. Then he goes out and tries to buy steroids. And then you get all upset because your son gets steroids. Now you're all upset, right? Because he's trying to be like this person that you idolize and that he idolizes. He's trying to be like them, but think of the children. Think of the children. But you're going to go to the next movie. You're going to go to the next movie with another steroided out motherfucker. You're going to fucking go to the next baseball game, the next football game. You're going to tell your kids don't do this while you spend all of your time saving all of your money to spend on entertainment that features people who are steroided out. It is the most fucking retarded cognitive dissonance motherfucking thing I've seen in my fucking life. How people don't fucking realize that they create these people. And then not only do they create these people, do they create the desire around them, which is fine. I have no problem with that, by the way. Don't think I'm coming down on steroids or people who take steroids. I honestly don't give a shit. And really, I can't say that, but I was going to say, I can't say that. I can't say that on YouTube anyway. It's hard enough getting my videos monetized if I say that, and it's not monetizable at all. So I'm not even going to say that, but let's just say I have zero issue with that at all. Zero. It's just the fucking hypocrisy, you know. You create these people that you want to see, and then you find out they're on steroids. Like it's a big fucking shock, you know. When Mark McGuire is hitting fucking 70 goddamn fucking home runs, all of a sudden it's a fucking shock that he's on steroids. But this man's been growing since he was 35. I thought that was natural. Shut the fuck up, you dummy. You know, you create these motherfuckers, and then you find out they're on steroids, which you should have been street smart enough to know that already, you know. But then what happens? Then you want to pass law after law after law after law to protect the children and take away freedom from adults who are responsible. But no, you know what? Let's leave alcohol completely legal because that harms no one. Let's leave alcohol legal. Let's leave alcohol completely legal. No one's ever died from alcohol. It's the dumbest fucking thing. It is the dumbest fucking thing. More people go to the hospital for multivitamins than do steroids. Alcohol is completely legal and kills so many fucking people and causes cancer, all kinds of things. But, you know, think of the children. Of course, again, with alcohol, who's thinking of the children there? You know how many kids get beat because some stupid motherfucker gets drunk and then beats his fucking kids because he's a piece of shit father?
That's something to look forward to.
You know? Do you have any fucking idea? But no one ever blames alcohol for that. You know, no one ever says, let's ban alcohol.
Humbug!
Anyway, we're getting off on another tangent here. I think we've done enough for today. Got about an hour in. That's cool, right? That's cool. Is that enough time with me, ladies? You know, I really appreciate you being here today, man. And, God damn, you're looking good. You're looking sexy, you know. Just, you keep that up. Yeah, you go ahead and finish, man. I'll just sit here and watch.
Yes, that's what a boy likes.
All right, man. I'm the fuck out of here.